The Buffalo Bills have a golden opportunity to take down the Kansas City Chiefs and thwart their Super Bowl three-peat attempt and make their own first Super Bowl appearance since the 1993 NFL season. What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Bills Digest. My name's Joe Cali. I'll be your host for today. Before we dive into this Bills-Chiefs AFC Championship matchup, like and subscribe. Lots of Bills news floating around out there, especially if they advance past the AFC Championship to make that Super Bowl appearance. You need to have all of the information you can on the team at your fingertips. And where else can you find it other than Bills Digest? So again, like and subscribe. Now, getting into it, these teams have a lot of history, the Bills and the Chiefs. Even back into the 90s Super Bowl era, which I'm not really going to touch on today. But in recent history, the Allen and Mahomes era, it's been a blockbuster movie every matchup. It never disappoints. So before we get into a preview, figured a retelling of events, if you will, might be just, especially with the games that these two have produced against each other. And I know the quarterbacks don't play the quarterbacks, but at the same time, that's how everything's perceived, Allen versus Mahomes, right? So got to take a look back at where they came from. It's been, again, a blockbuster film, as I said. The first time the two met in the AFC Championship, but in 2020, the COVID year. The Bills were very young. Josh Allen was new to the stardom, if you will. It was the year he really broke out into the talent he has become, right? Started making those ascensions up the mountain of greatness. And Patrick Mahomes had been to a Super Bowl already. He had been playing at an elite level for an extended period of time since he first entered the NFL after sitting his first season behind a veteran quarterback. So they met in the first time for the AFC Championship in 2020. The Bills fell short. The Chiefs went on to the Super Bowl, their second straight at that point. Then Allen and the Bills would bounce back. Week 5 of the 2021 regular season, where they went for 374 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a convincing primetime victory. Later in the season, they would meet again in the playoffs. And the 2021 season, let's just say the playoffs for the Bills were perfect up until the divisional round. They played literally the perfect game against the New England Patriots. Could not continue to get it done, though. It's an iconic divisional game, one of the best games ever played in a lot of people's minds. A lot of social media attention was gained from it. Allen and the Bills received a lot of serious attention from it because they did put up such a good fight against the back-to-back AFC champions. The two quarterbacks combined for over 700 passing yards and 7 touchdowns. The game featured 28 points in the fourth quarter alone. The lead changed back, forth. And then 13 seconds left. Chiefs got into field goal range, kicked the field goal, tied it up, went to overtime. The Bills could not stop the Chiefs. The defense was depleted, energy depleted badly at that point. Chiefs won the coin toss, won that game. Bills go down in a heartbreaker. Then, the next 2 regular season matchups, because they did not see each other in the divisional round in 2022. The next 2 regular season matchups, the Bills won. They swept them, and there are iconic highlights that came from both. They met again in the 2023 divisional round last season, with the Chiefs earning another postseason victory over the Bills. Wide right, again, echoed through Buffalo like it did in those 90s Super Bowl era, right? The first loss to the Giants. So that hit home pretty hard for a lot of Bills fans. But, yeah, it's just pretty, these matchups have been nothing short of iconic, and they continue to be. So it's going to be interesting to see where this specific one plays out, because I think on paper, the Bills have a better team. Yes, the Chiefs' record on paper is better, 15 wins, 15-2. Realistically, take one of those wins away because they sat their entire starting offense and defense against the Denver Broncos. So 15-2, really 15-1 if you don't count that game. The Bills, same thing, 13-3 if you don't count the game they threw against the Patriots, not playing a lot of starters at that point. So both of these teams have 13-plus win seasons. The Chiefs, very lucky this season to get 13-plus wins. And blocked field goals, whether it be a last-minute field goal score, last-minute touchdown. They've found ways to win in these ugly games, and you can't discount them for that. They're a very, very talented football team that finds ways to win, and that's all that matters, right? The regular season, they got the 1 seed, and they got the home playoff games all the way through the playoffs. And the Bills, got the first 2, and they continue to get the 2 seed. So it's not a slight to the Bills either. The one team to beat their starters in the regular season, you know who that was? The Buffalo Bills. But past results do not guarantee future outcomes as far as I'm concerned in most situations. But I feel like I have to let that go a little bit here because you don't know how this game's going to go. The Bills on paper, I think, are the better team in offense and defense, even though their roster in the beginning of the season was overall depleted in many people's minds with the departure of Stephon Diggs, center Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis. Their defense, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Micah Hyde's back on the team, but in a practice-only situation as of right now, and practice-only is a stretch. He's more of a coach than anything at this point. But you're not going to get another matchup, this one, like last season, right? The 2023 divisional. Mahomes is 3-0 over Josh Allen in the playoffs right now. 3-0. There is no quarterback that is 4-0 over another quarterback in the playoffs. That has not happened. 4-0 would be the first time that has happened. And that's where the narrative comes in, right? That is where the legacy can change. Josh Allen dethrones the king, thwarts the three-peat. How does the media look at Josh Allen? How do we look at Josh Allen? Finally gets over that hump, makes his first Super Bowl appearance. You have to look at Josh Allen a little differently. Now, if the Bills lose this game, Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 over Josh Allen in the playoffs. That's not the best stat to have in your favor. Not the best stat. And as much as the Bills fan in me knows Josh Allen is an all-time elite talent, it would just be, again, another roadblock because at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs, so the narrative would spin itself. Josh Allen can't beat the Chiefs. Josh Allen can't beat Patrick Mahomes, even though they don't directly play each other. Can't beat Patrick Mahomes, even though he's putting up ungodly numbers every matchup. That narrative would follow him. That narrative would not leave. If the Bills win this matchup, the entire narrative changes. The Bills take the step. The Bills advance to the Super Bowl. The Bills beat the Chiefs when it matters most, because that's what it is now. The Bills can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. The regular season, all bets are off. The Bills have ruled the regular season over the Chiefs. They finally get over in the postseason. That's where you're going to start to see some things change narrative-wise for the better. The talking heads, right? That's how I refer to them. The big network shows, if you will. Stephen A. Smith, Ryan Clark, FS1, right? ESPN. A lot of these guys pin the quarterbacks against each other. And I understand how that works, but at the same time, it's Allen versus the Chiefs defense. It's Mahomes versus the Bills defense. So narrative-wise, I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, take it with a grain of salt. Bills fans know Josh Allen is right for the task. He has proven it. The defense has fallen short. The special teams have fallen short. And I think this is the year they do it. If you're looking at these two teams on paper, the one who got lucky, won a lot of ugly games, a lot of close games, and a team, by the way, the Chiefs have not scored more than 30 points at all this season. They've not passed 30 points in the regular season or postseason. Buffalo passes that metric frequently. And they did so against the Chiefs. The Chiefs scored 21 points. The Bills scored 30 in their victory. So they were up by 9 points. That's a dream scenario in the playoffs to make allow the Bills to make their first Super Bowl berth since 1993, the Jim Kelly era, in the end of it, pretty much. After that, it was playoffs, but no Super Bowl trips. So it's definitely an interesting matchup. And like I said, the narratives are going to write themselves after this. The noise is going to be out there. You would hope the Bills are able to best the Chiefs and pull this one out. But at the same time, nothing is a guarantee in the playoffs, and the Chiefs are a very admirable football team, a very good, well-coached program, very, very good. So, and they've got proven success on their record, and the Bills do to an extent, but no one has the record of the Chiefs right now. And the only quarterback in the AFC in recent history that's active to win a Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes. So it's not great. Josh Allen would be able to topple that legacy. The Bills, Chiefs, Josh Allen would move ahead of Joe Burrow, would move ahead of Lamar Jackson, right? In the quarterback talks. This is a total narrative game changer for Josh Allen. It allows him to take the next step in the quote unquote media narrative landscape and to get out of the conversation of, is Josh Allen better than Patrick Mahomes? Oh, we bested him in the playoffs. Look at that. Moved on to a Super Bowl because of it. Yeah, it's just one time. You got to do it a couple more times. But it finally, the dominoes start to fall the right way you need them to. So there's a lot on the line for this Bills-Chiefs matchup. As mentioned earlier in the video, there's a lot of history between these two teams. And I think this is going to be a heck of a contest, if you ask me. It's going to be high-scoring offense, some defense. The Chiefs have a great defensive front, great secondary. The Bills, secondary is a little banged up. You'll hear more Bills Digest coverage on the injuries for the Bills heading into this game. The Chiefs' injury report is completely clean, so that's a good sign for them. But the Bills missing some key players on defense and some questionable. But the team traveled out there officially today, and they'll be taking the field at Arrowhead Stadium at 6:30 p.m. this coming Sunday for the AFC Championship. So go Bills. Go Bills. Beat the Chiefs. Move on to the Super Bowl. Make the first Super Bowl berth since 1993. And we'll be back with more Bills Digest coverage after the hopeful victory, win or lose. We're here for you for all of your Bills news, needs, player news, injury updates, designations, offseason news, draft coverage, and more. So stay tuned for Bills Digest. I'm Joe Cali. Thank you for watching Bills Digest.